For 20 years of working with injured, worried, scared, and sometimes grieving clients, I've had the privilege of answering many of my clients' questions about their cases or whether their healthcare provider made any mistakes. I would like to use my experience and answer some of the questions I hear most often.
What is malpractice?
Simply stated, medical malpractice is just another way of saying that a doctor, nurse, or other healthcare provider failed to correctly treat a medical condition resulting in injury or damage to a patient. You see, a healthcare provider has a duty to do what any reasonable healthcare provider would have done under the same or similar circumstances. Medical malpractice, also known as medical negligence, includes things such as the misdiagnosis of a medical condition, providing inappropriate treatment, not giving proper treatment for an illness, disease, or condition, or not diagnosing a medical condition in a timely manner.
What are the different types of medical malpractice cases?
There are many types of medical malpractice cases, but each case is uniquely different. Some of the most common types of cases we see and handle include things such as failing to diagnose a medical condition or disease, failing to properly monitor patients in the course of treating a disease or condition, failing to monitor or reporting a patient's change in condition, surgical errors and wrong site surgeries, and medication errors.
What are some warning signs of malpractice?
Sometimes there may be warning signs that your doctor or nurse committed malpractice. Questions you may want to consider include, despite the medical treatment given to you or your loved one, did the medical condition get worse? Another question may be, did the diagnosis provided match the symptoms that were complained about? Even yet another question, did your medical condition deteriorate after surgery? Or you may want to consider, is the medication helping my symptoms?
How can I help prevent any malpractice?
An informed, involved patient can prevent many medical mistakes from happening. First, choose the right medical provider. While it may be impossible to know every single detail about your medical team, thorough research and direct questioning of your providers will help you find a doctor that's the right fit for you. Get a second opinion, especially if the diagnosis or medical treatment options are serious, or surgery or another invasive procedure is recommended. And most importantly, be your own advocate. Know your blood type, know your health history, disclose all of the medications you're taking and the types of allergies you have. Talk to your physician and make sure you express your concerns and issues.
How can I learn if my doctor has ever been sued for malpractice?
Oftentimes, a physician's malpractice record may not be readily available. However, there are certainly several resources available to help you determine whether your doctor has been previously sued or the subject of any complaints. First, use the internet to perform your search. Great websites exist, such as healthgrades.com, searchpoint.com, vitals.com, and angieslist.com. Check with a Better Business Bureau in the city in which your doctor practices and see if any complaints have been filed. And finally, check with your state medical board to see if they have any information on your doctor's malpractice record.
What questions should I ask my doctor?
It is absolutely vital and critical to communicate directly with your doctor and ask about their background. Before you make a final choice on your physician, consider asking these questions to your doctor. What does your training and background include? Have you ever been disciplined by the state's medical board? How long have you been in practice? What hospitals are you allowed to practice? Who covers for you when you are not available? And how do you handle emergencies or after-hour calls? But most importantly, you must feel comfortable with the physician you choose and make sure that their medical philosophy matches your own beliefs and comfort level. Don't be afraid to go with your gut. More likely than not, you will be able to sense whether this one doctor is the right choice for you.
Do all doctors have malpractice insurance?
Unfortunately, doctors are not required to have medical malpractice insurance. However, if your physician has privileges to admit patients to a hospital or is on staff at a hospital, then more likely than not, your physician has malpractice insurance. But regardless, when you are under the care of a doctor, you should always feel comfortable asking your physician about his or her qualifications and credentials, including whether they have malpractice insurance.
What is the statutes of limitations for a medical malpractice case?
The statute of limitation, or time limits as to when a lawsuit must be filed, vary from state to state. Determining the statute of limitations date in medical malpractice cases can sometimes be extremely complicated. For instance, the time limit in which a case must be brought for a misdiagnosis case may be different than a case where a surgeon botched a surgery. In addition, there may be extremely short time limits if a government entity or employee is involved in the malpractice. Questions such as these require the careful examination of an experienced medical malpractice attorney. Your failure to file a lawsuit within the required time period may preclude you from ever bringing a lawsuit.
What should I do if I suspect malpractice?
If you suspect that you or a loved one received negligent care or might be a victim of medical mistakes, there are some key steps you need to consider. First, get your medical records. It is absolutely critical to obtain these records before they disappear or are conveniently lost or destroyed. Also, it is important to see if the records have been changed or altered to see if mistakes are being covered up. Second, keep notes of all important facts. As soon as you believe something is wrong, write down everything about the event. With the passing of time, memories fade and details become blurry. Write down dates, times, chain of events, names, locations, people present, and conversations. Address your notes to an attorney so they can be protected by attorney-client communication. Third, retain an experienced medical malpractice lawyer. Make sure your lawyer is qualified and has the experience handling these complicated medical cases.
Why do I need to hire an attorney?
There's only one way to ensure all of your questions get answered, and that is, have the treatment that you're complaining about evaluated by experts in the same field or specialty of medicine as the treating physician. Most of the time, you will not be able to maneuver this path by yourself. Not because you're not able, but because finding the exact same kind of doctor who's willing to provide an unbiased opinion and who can follow all the procedural and legal hurdles to obtain that kind of opinion is what a good malpractice attorney does. We want to get to the bottom of these issues you present as quickly as possible and allow you the opportunity to then decide what is in your best interest and whether you want to move forward with a malpractice case. If you would like more information on this subject or answers to many of your other questions, visit our website, theinsiderslegalguide.com, and request your free copy of my book, The Epidemic of Medical Mistakes.